Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So I know a lot of people have covered this deck already, but I talk about it a lot for someone that hasn't actually put a deck profile on their channel yet, so I wanted to go in depth and really talk about this deck. This is green OTK, probably like the second most powerful deck of the format, or at least right up there at the top with several others right there in S tier class. And I think it's definitely something we should talk about what its strengths are, as I think I've covered its weaknesses, so I probably won't go too in depth on that. But I think I rag on it enough that I really should just put it in the spotlight instead of the limelight for once, and really just show off actually how powerful of a deck this truly is. There is a reason it is an S-class deck, okay? Let's get into this. Also, I know I keep saying it, but I promise next video we will have paint on these guys one way or another. It's definitely happening, paint for sure. These are our memory markers for the month of July. This is going to be Yaomon, so this is the baby form of Impmon. And super adorable Beelzemon, Beelstarmon. If you're going to be playing Musketeers in future sets, then you're definitely going to want to get your hands on this, because it's going to be the perfect memory marker for Musketeers. And then if you're already playing it, then yeah, come on, order one of these guys, because they're awesome. Patreon in the link in the description below. First up for our eggs, I went with the 4 Gargomon. So my argument, and this is going to stand through the entire discussion here, is that this is a highly Digiburst level deck, right? The goal is to Digiburst away all 4 Digivolution sources underneath the Grand Gargomon to get the security attack +2, so he can swing, do 3 security checks, and then you Digivolve over with the Chaosmon. The Chaosmon swings over something and does piercing and does 3 more security checks. That's the idea. If you can't do a full Digiburst, then you're really not even facilitating the strategy all that much. And if that's the case, I feel like playing a different deck other than the Grand Gargomon, like play Hercules instead, because if that is your thought process, well, you know, I might not always want to Digiburst away all my Digivolution sources. Well, if you think like that, then play a different green deck. There are other ones. Hercules is arguably the better deck, in my opinion, as well as a lot of other people's opinion. So if you're afraid of something like that, play that deck instead. But in this deck, I'm going all out. My goal is to Digiburst 4 Digivolution sources away and going with my my Mega, okay? Just whatever. Whether it be Nidhogg or Grand Gargomon, all 4 Digivolution sources are coming off of these guys. So as far as eggs are concerned, I don't need inheritables. For the most part, they're just draw engines, and raising area is to protect my level 5s until I'm ready to promote them to go into my megas, okay? So that is the point of my raising area. It's not to get out some sort of beefy, like, damage DP buffs, right? So I went with the Gargomon just because if I do go into whichever of these guys, Terriermon, or if I go into a blocker or some sort and I block, and on my turn that blocker comes unsuspended, I would like to get the value off of Gargomon, you know, in my process of stair-stepping up into my Mega. So the plan is Gargomon really helps with the blockers, but no other egg really benefits in the OTK strategy, like hardly at all, because you're just Digibursting it away anyways, so nothing is going to be there to inherit the effect from, okay? So that's my thought process there, is Gargomon, at least in some form or fashion, can benefit me, whereas no other egg really can. Unless they get me something like Digibursted away, and, you know, kind of like the Palmon, the turn that it gets trash for Digiburst, I get to do an effect. That would be a really cool egg. But until then, I think Gargomon's going to be kind of my way to go, just because I like the 1 memory. To go into Grand Gargomon, I need to be at 3 memory. And if I don't have a Tamer on field to get that combo off, I really could use an Gargomon to get me to that last memory to get me up to the 3. So just another way to get some memory going for ourselves, and that's kind of important to get your 3 memory. It's not like 100%, but it's up there. All right, now that we've kind of established like the thought process of the deck, I can go forward. I don't have to keep explaining that over and over for every single Digimon that we go through. First up is Palmon. This is kind of like the enabler, right? Without Palmon, this deck would just not be very good. Grand Gargomon is an 11k, so swinging into security, there is way too much in this game right now that can kill an 11k Mega. Yellow runs into this all the time with their War Greymons dying swinging into security because it happens, okay? Yeah, I know because I've done it. I've lost several War Greymons in security. So being able to give yourself jamming because of the Palmon with that Digiburst is very important. Also, it's just any Digimon. It's not the one that Digibursts it away. You can Digiburst it away and then pick any of your Digimon to receive that jamming buff. So that could be kind of important. Just maybe. We'll see. I've got a couple strategies I can throw at you guys when we get to it. But yeah, Palmon, really powerful card for sure. Next up, we have the Lalamon. I did go with the 4 of Lalamons. The only Digiburst I have are the Megas. But my thing is, all of our Megas, if I can't get into the Palmon immediately, this is my other go-to that I want to Digivolve on top of. It's either the Lalamon or the Palmon. These are our go-to rookies that we're trying to stair-step into. So going on top of the Argomons is going to be one of these two. And then we're going to go all the way into our Mega and then Digiburst these guys away. So if I can't have Palmon in my opening hand, or at least very soon, I would like a Lalamon, one of these two in my opening hand, and that's why I play the 4 of the Lalamons. I know some people play less, but I really feel like I need one of these two in my opening hand. Next up, I have the 2 Terriermon. Terriermons, as well as just any color, are going to want to start playing their rookies that stop memory gaining. Whether it used to just be blue and their Hammer Sparks, and that was already a pretty big deal. In every format, blue has been somewhere in the format. Imperialdramon is very popular right now, which is blue. You're going to want to stop Hammer Spark with Terriermon if you're going against blue, as well as Rookie Rush. If they're going against the blue-green Rookie Rush, you're going to want Terriermon for that matchup as well. But it doesn't actually stop there. Green, with its Argomons, it has abilities. Stingmon, if they're playing Stingmon, gets them memory. In yellow has Blinding Ray, which gives them 2 memory. Blinding Ray, as a yellow player, has won me games because I'll go Blinding Ray, take myself down to 4, swing with War Greymon, use his ability to go down to 3 to unsuspend himself. Now I'm at 3. Now all my other abilities are live because of the Blinding Ray getting me down to 4, like turn 2 or turn 3, and I'm going full combo now. My opponent puts me to 1, thinking they're memory choking me. Blinding Ray, go up to 3, go into my War Greymon. Like, I mean, the game is on at that point, and being able to shut that whole mess off is really important, as well as Purple. Purple has their new one, Jack Raid, that gives them 1 memory for every 10 cards in their trash. Purple likes the trash stuff. Draw 1, discard 1. Draw 1, discard 1. They'll draw like 3 or 4 cards every single turn. So getting Jack Raid live is very easy for them. So Terriermon, again, just shutting that down. 2 of felt very solid. I just want to have 1 on field and just let it sit there in a corner and just shut down my opponent. If I need to swing for game with it, all right, let's do it. But other than that, he's just going to sit there and then just make my opponent angry. All right, next up for our last rookies, there's going to be a 4 of here. I ultimately went with the Tentomon, but I do want to talk about the Dukinimon here. Tentomon, though, on play, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a green Digimon card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, place it to the bottom of your deck. So it's basically, essentially, your Gabumon from blue. You just hard play it for 3, and you essentially get to draw 1. Because most of the time it's going to be a Digimon. I mean, 9 times out of 10. Probably more than 9 times out of 10 because of just how many, green Digimon we're playing here. You're going to be able to add it to hand. So just solid card for sure. A little bit extra draw power. We're not going to be Digivolving with everything, right? So my thoughts are I need stuff to hard play. And I want stuff that's going to facilitate us and help us along. Could I play Goblimon instead? Sure, I could. It's a 2 play cost, which is, it's all right. That's not too bad. Or it's a 0 evolution, so if I start with it, I can still evolve it. My thing is, though, I don't really need 2 cost stuff. I need stuff that's going to help get my OTK off, and just hard playing a 2 cost rookie is not going to get me there. Literally, the Terriermon, I can hard play the Terriermon if I need to, and again, it's just going to sit there. I don't need a Digivolve on top of a Terriermon simply because I'm not going to have the baby underneath, and having the baby underneath is very important for that full Digiburst. I need 4 underneath inheritables to Digiburst away, so Terriermon is not going to get us there if I hard play it. Same with Tentomon. Tentomon's not going to get us there either, but at least if I'm hard playing something, I'm getting other value out of it. So I know I have to hard play some rookies. It's part of the game. You're going to have to hard play rookies here and there, and I just want something that's going to give me a little bit more value. Sure, it's 1 more memory, but just getting more cards to hand, especially Digimon cards, very, very important. But the Dukinimon, just to kind of go off the Tentomon, I have played the Dukinimon, and ultimately I didn't like it that much. I almost never really got to trigger it like reliably. And in this, the only Digibursts we're playing are our Megas. So I just, even though it's the top 3 and you get to add 1, I'd rather just hard play it and just guarantee me 1 to hand, whatever it is. I don't want to flip up 3. Half of them I can't add to hand, and they all have to go to the bottom, and they could be other good stuff. I'd rather just play the Tentomon and get the 1 immediately. But I did just want to kind of mention it in there, just in case someone was like, well, what about this instead? Sure, but it has a lot of flaws that unless you're really maximizing on the Digiburst, you're not going to see enough value in the Dukinimon, at least in this build. Next up, our level 4s. We've got the Kabuterimon, the 1-cost blocker. 1-cost blocker, already amazing. I talk about this in like every deck profile I do, but no more are we like, okay, do I use my 1-cost evolution to pass turn going first and put them at 1 memory, or do I go into my blocker first for 2 and give them 2 memory on turn 1? Now it's like Kabuterimon instantly 1-cost evolution blocker will always be my go-to turn 1 opening play. Just a really, really good card for sure. Just being able to memory choke your opponent is incredible. 5k is plenty. Literally the only stuff you're missing out on blocking with this would be in like a rookie rush matchup where they're playing the green 2 hard play cost rookies that are 5ks, and right now rookie rush really isn't even on the map. Ultimately it's not doing much at all, so I don't feel like you're really going to be worrying about that too much. And anything big, the difference between 5 and 6k isn't going to matter because you're just going to be sacrificing him anyways, no matter if he's 5k or a 6k. So the 1-cost evolution is definitely the way to go. Speaking of 1-cost evolutions, I went with the Gargomon. Ultimately, I keep saying ultimately, but because there just wasn't any other good level 4s that I really liked. I debated Roachmon because it's got that 3 play cost instead of the 5 play cost like Gargomon is here, but again, if I hard play that and then I go into a 5 and then a 6, if it's Grand Kawagamon, I'm missing out on half of my Digiburst potential. And then if it's only thing I have is a Nidhogg in my hand, I'm literally getting 0 value out of it because I can't Digiburst at all at that point. So I went with the Gargomon instead just because maybe I'll get some value out of this. I wanted the 1-cost evolution. That was my like go-to for this, was the 1-cost evolution. And I just thought Gargomon might be a little beneficial. Just get that extra little 1000 DP buff. It's going to kind of play into the combos later, but say you're going to swing with your Grand Kawagamon, you can swing over something like a War Greymon that's already suspended, and now you got that 1000 DP buff because of the Gargomon. Now you can swing over that and, clear the War Greymon that's a big threat for you. And by doing that, you can use we'll get to it, but the Grand Kawagamon, you can Digiburst and give someone else the Security Attack Plus. So if you Digiburst away the Palmon and whatever else with the Grand Kawagamon to give something else Security Attack +1 and jamming, then that thing, the weak thing, right, like a Terriermon, can swing into security with that Security Attack +1 and that jamming, and you get to use your Grand Kawagamon to kill something big on the field. And if you need the Gargomon there, you have it. And if you don't, then you can Digiburst it away with whatever else and give that Terriermon, a +2 security with the jamming. That was the kind of combo potential that you could do just differently. So I went with the Gargomon just because it was just a different option There was the only inheritable that seemed like feasible to me that could be a little bit more important. The Stingmon gain 1 memory I don't think is that important. If I'm already attacking, then we're good. You know, I've already done my Digivolving. I'm ready to attack. Perfect. We're good. The 1000 DP might be a little bit more important than the gain 1 memory by clearing something. Okay, for the last level 4, you might be surprised here, but I went with Togemon. Okay, I debated like running more Woodmon, but I think, I don't know, Togemon just feels like it's kind of spicy. It's a 2-cost evolution, which isn't the best, but when Digivolving, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 level 5 or higher Digimon card among them to your hand. Nothing about color, right? 5, 6, 7, any of them. Grab exactly what you need. If it's, you know, you're missing a level 5, grab a level 5. If you're missing a level 6, grab a level 6. Say 2 level 6s come out, a Nidhogg and a Grand Gargomon, you know, grab the one you need in that moment that you're really in desperate need of because of whatever your opponent is doing. If your opponent is just letting you run over, grab that Grand Gargomon. If your opponent is about to blow you out, grab the Nidhogman. Just the Togemon just felt really, really like some good potential here. I just like the open-endedness of it, that I can just grab whatever color and reveal the top 3. That's a decent amount. And then, yeah, grab any level 5 or higher Digimon. Sweet. Okay. 2 cost. I think it's worth it. And it's our lesser count. I think the other 2 are a little bit more important, just that 1 cost evolution over this one. If this one was a 1 cost evolution, it would be my 4 of, and Gargomon would be a 3 of for sure. I would play this every time, no question. It's just that 2 cost evolution almost feels bad. But you know what? Every other color in this entire game gets away with running 2-cost evolution level 4s. I think green can get away with doing a single one of them, and at the lower end of the count than the other level 4s. Okay, I think we can do it. Every other deck can do it, and they do extremely well. Green can do it too. Next up is our level 5s. I went with the 4 Blossomon and the 1 Argomon here. Digisorption 3 is so good. So say we have, you know, that Terriermon or that Tentomon that we hard played early game. They're sitting on the field, you know, we don't want to crash with them or whatever. They're just kind of sitting there. We can Digisorption by suspending them to go into a free level 5. So you have that 4 on field, and now you free Digivolve into this level 5, and then boom, now you can go into your level 6 on top of this. Really, really powerful. Nidhogg going on top of one of these after they've been brought out for free, and now he gets to use his ability. Or, you know, Grand Gargomon gets to come out on top of this and do all his shenanigans. Just Digisorption for a 3 cost is really good. I don't think Digisorption on a 2 cost is overly important. My thoughts were always, I could play a 2 cost rookie, suspend it with Digisorption for a 3 cost, and I ended up saving myself 1 memory, as well as putting a body on field that can either swing at a later turn, or my opponent is going to swing into them and kill them, right, taking away something that they could have hit into security with or something like that. So in a way, it's like almost like a blocker in kind of in an aspect like that. But even without playing that exact play, just Digisorption 3 is really good on a level 5. Lets you go right into the level 6. Even if you want to just Digisorption the thing you're going on top of, so that way you can then go into your level 6 on top of this, especially with Nidhogman. That's like one of the best plays for sure. Having a level 4 on field, feeling like you're about to lose, and then boom, go into a 5 for free, and then go into a 6 on top of that and clear your opponent's board. Very powerful. So, of course, we're going to maximize out on these. Absolutely. And then for our other 3 ultimates, I went with Cherrymon, just because more blockers is kind of good right now, really. Especially if I want to Digivolve this on top of my Kabuterimon. I don't really want to lose my blocker, but I can just go into a level 5 and set myself up for future turns by having a 5 in place on field to go on top of with my 6, while still having a blocker in play. Also, he's 2 evolution cost, which is really, really important. I wanted whatever my other level 5 here to be was going to be a 2-cost evolution. I really needed it. And just having a blocker, that also ups our blocker count. I've been talking about how good blockers are lately. One, dealing with green OTK, one of the best strategies is to block the Grand Gargomon swing, because that's 3 security checks you're stopping, right? Sure, you're going to lose your level 5 or your level 4, whatever your blocker is, you're going to lose your blocker, but stopping 3 security checks is huge. Even if they go into their Chaosmon on top of that, what if that blocker was the only Digimon you had on field, right? And so they crash into the blocker with the Grand Kawagomon. They don't get any of their security checks, and boom, also, they just clear the only Digimon on field, and now you can't actually do the Chaosmon play because Chaosmon has to attack a Digimon. It cannot go straight for security because of its ability. And then just, it feels so good. So blockers are very important for countering this matchup, as well as they just do good against other things. Stopping the yellow player from getting their Bushi Agumon free swings, right? If they're going to do their whole shenanigans playing Bushi Agumon for free, then you're just going to ensure that that Bushi cannot get through. So just upping my blocker count felt really, really good, especially because, again, once the level 6 comes down on top of this, it doesn't matter anymore because it's getting Digibursted away. So any inheritables, I don't need any inheritables on my level 5s. It's just because they're going to go away. So I'd rather have a blocker or an on Digivolve effect or Digizorption. Digizorption is obviously the way to go. I did debate playing the new copy of Lilymon here when Digivolving reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add a level 6 or higher Digimon card to your hand. So that's going to search out any of your Megas as well as your Chaosmons. And top 5 is a pretty good chunk. So you have a pretty high chance of hitting one of the, 10 cards in your deck, right? You're going to reveal 5 of them, 10 different cards in your deck you can add off of Lilymon. Pretty solid. I just didn't like the evolution cost of 3, and I felt like the blocker was just a tad more important than that Lilymon, just a bit. All right, next we're going to kind of go into the meat and potatoes. We've already talked about most of this stuff already, so it's going to be kind of an easy one. Grand Kawagomon, 3-cost evolution is so important. Hercules Kabuterimon, literally the only thing holding it back is that it's a 4-cost evolution. If it was a 3, I don't even think Green OTK would be nearly as talked about anymore. Because of it. Because if you have a memory fixer like Mimi on field, you can go into this and still attack. And that is so important to Digivolve up into this, use its Digiburst 2 to get rid of 2 things underneath it, and get Security Attack plus 2 to swing for that 3 security checks. And then you go into Chaosmon on top of that. When Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon, then it can attack your opponent's Digimon, not the player, it can attack your opponent's Digimon. This effect allows you to attack unsuspended Digimon as well, which is also really cool. You can clear any of the big stuff that they have on field. Say they went into their War Greymon, they swung once, unsuspended it, but then left it unsuspended. Maybe they were going to go into a Valder arm on top of it, and they're just going to kind of leave it there. Chaosmon will just run it over still because they left it unsuspended. There's been other times where it's like, okay, I don't want to risk my Mega swinging into security, so I'm going to just level over with my my level 7, whatever it is. I'm going to go over it with my level 7 to get my level 7 play off. And like Alter S is a good example of that. I don't want to swing with my War Greymon and risk it dying because I really need this Alter S to go off. So I'm just going to go ahead and play my Alter S, and then it's not suspended. So that's a really good time to go in with a Chaosmon and swing over it. Yes, Alter S is 15k. Sure, Chaosmon could have some sort of DP buff. There's all different kind of scenarios. I just want to use that as an example of a time where I wouldn't want to swing with a level 6 or swing with a level 5 even, because I felt like it was more important to get that Digivolve off to pass my turn than anything else, and that's a good time to use Chaosmon for those kind of plays to kill really, really important things, as well as that it doesn't even have to be important things. Say it could just be something they don't want to lose. Terriermon, right? Terriermon's stopping you from gaining all this memory. Like, let me just kill, I know it's just a rookie, but I'm going to Chaosmon over this stupid rookie that is really just shutting me down. So yeah, Chaosmon incredibly good. Bring it back over here to Nidhogman, though. Digiburst 4, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. Then place all of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their deck in any order. Trash all the Digivolution sources. Wow, what an amazing card. I talked about it in some other green videos. Say your opponent just swung with everything, and they've got all their big stuff suspended. Their War Greymons, their Chaosmons, whatever. Valder Arm is a really good one, right? The talk about with this one. it's all suspended. Go into Nidhogman. On top of that, say you got that level 4, you go up in with your Digisorption of your level 5 for free, and then you Nidhogg over that, and then you clear their whole board. But it doesn't get destroyed, so no destruction effects trigger. So no Millennium Mons, no Valder Arms gaining 3 memory. They all get sent to the bottom of the deck. They're not destroyed. How amazing. How important is that? And not just that. There are tons of other on deletion effects. Purple and all their drawing abilities, none of that is going to get triggered because of Nidhogman shuffling it in or putting it all underneath the deck instead of destroying it. As well as he's just a good, you can also combo him, right? So your opponent passes it over to you, you're at 2, 3 memory, whatever, and you Flower Cannon or Needle Spray, whatever big thing that they have on field is. And then you go into Nidhogman. So whereas Alter S used to de-digivolve everything, even if you digivolved a 7 or a level 6, Alter S still isn't going to clear that off the field. Whereas Nidhogman can clear big stuff off the field. And I think that is what's so crazy. He has an insane Digivolution cost of 5, but thankfully his effect is when Digivolving and not main. So if you notice, Grand Gargomon is main, so to use your Grand Gargomon Digiburst ability, it has to still be your turn because you still need to swing with it. Whereas Nidhogman, you can be at 0 memory, play him, or Digivolve into him, and then it passes your opponent's turn, but you get to still use his effect before it passes turn to clear their board. So yeah, Nidhogg, incredibly powerful, and also we do have hidden potential in here, so you can potentially go into him for free. Very, very good. All right, next we got 3 Mimi. The ratio on this, I would say, is up for debate. Most of the stuff beyond this point, the ratios are kind of up for debate. Everything before this, pretty set in stone. I wouldn't change anything before this. Chaosmon before, all of this is pretty much like solid. We'll drop the Dukinimon and then bump up the Tentomon to 4. But yeah, this, like, absolutely, I would play these ratios for sure, without a doubt. Wouldn't change really anything. Like I said, you could maybe change the Cherrymon, but I think the Cherrymon in Grand Gargomon is just way better. But yeah, so the ratios here, the Mimi at a 3 of, I really think it's important to get yourself at 3 memory, to do your Grand Gargomon play, right? Getting the Grand Gargomon here is going into it on top of your level 5 and it still being your turn is just very, very, very good. So having Mimi on field just for the memory fixing alone is huge, as well as just a good, like, kind of ramping ability. So just keep hatching eggs and, like, moving stuff up so you're getting that double raising phase every single turn with Mimi. That's just good draw power, honestly. If nothing else, it's just good draw power to digivolve your rookies onto your eggs to keep drawing. So yeah, definitely loving Mimi, but mainly it's for the memory fixing. Ultimately, it is definitely for the memory fixing. Could I drop 1 Mimi and play a Ken? Sure. Just Ken isn't really helping me with the combos and getting important stuff off like that. So I think Mimi is fine, but there is argument for sure for Ken, just to get some bonus memory back. Because going into that Grand Gargomon and clearing things is potentially good. We just don't have a whole lot of piercing, so I don't really want to waste my swings getting Ken's ability if I'm not doing piercing. Yeah, we have the Chaosmon, but that's it. 3 cards out of the whole deck have piercing, so I'd rather just swing for face, and with that, Ken isn't going to do me any good. We don't talk about the hidden potential. Really good if you combo with Nidhogg, getting to go into Nidhogg for free. Very, very good. As well as, a lot of people don't consider it, but going into Chaosmon with hidden potential, making Chaosmon a 1 evolution cost, that can win you games, people. Especially like if you do your OTK strategy, you clear all this security and you need to be able to push for game, right? You clear all their security. If I was able to go into a Chaosmon for 1 memory, that still gives me room to play. I can still do things on my turn. Say you're at 3, you go to 3 memory because of Mimi, and then Argomon puts you at 4. Go into Grand Gargomon for 3. Do all your awesome Grand Gargomon 3 security checks. Hidden potential something. Suspend, that Terriermon or that Tentomon that we just had chilling out there. Go into Chaosmon for 1. Now we're at 0 memory. Chaosmon swings, clears all the rest of the security. You just need 1 more Digimon to swing. And it's still your turn because hidden potential on Chaosmon. Yeah, that's a dream play for sure. I'm just saying the potential is there. It's hidden, but it's there. Like, for real though. What a nasty card this is for sure. Just very, very good. There's a reason it's at 1 because it is nuts. Alright, and then the last card, I went with Needle Spray. Originally, I had the Flower Cannons in here, but honestly, with the current meta, people aren't going as wide. Yellow kind of goes wide a little bit, but it's not that much. The Needle Spray to hit like a Bushi Agumon is kind of all you really got to worry about. So you're going to get that security effect to suspend something, and that's where like the difference comes is in the security effect. Whereas Flower Cannon suspends everything, Needle Spray just suspends one thing, but it can be a blocker potentially, and people like to leave one blocker out there, especially against green. They like to leave that one blocker out to stop that Grand Kawagamon whenever it may come. So getting to suspend a blocker with Needle Spray getting hit in security, one will save you from losing the game, as well as just setting up for your follow-up turn to go into. Also, it adds to hand, and I think that's the part that like sets it up. It's not the fact that I can suspend a blocker, it's the part that it adds to hand after it does that in security. So whereas Flower Cannon, I get my big Flower Cannon use, but then it goes to the trash, and now I can't use it again. I'd rather get more and more value out of Needle Spray, being able to use it essentially twice. And so at a 3 of, that's not too bad. I've seen people play it at a 2 of as well, because that's essentially, if it gets hit in security, 4 copies. Are you going to have 2 Needle Sprays hit in security when you're only playing 2 copies of it? Absolutely not. But I think 3 of is still solid. If you wanted to bump it up more, you could maybe bring the Mimi count down to 2. And bump the Needle Spray up to 4. I just think that this ratio here is good. It's important to get into a memory fixer early as possible. So I think 3 Mimi is solid. And then using the leftovers to go up into 3 Needle Spray. Also, this goes for whether you want to play Flower Cannon or Needle Spray, either one. Having it in hand to hard play for 2. To suspend your opponent's big thing, whatever it is, and then going into Nidhogman. Very, very crucial, okay? That is a very good play. I've had it used against me. Like on a level 5, right, that they couldn't clear. They Needle Sprayed or Flower Cannon my level 5 and then went over with the Nidhogman and then was able to clear it. Cleared my whole field. Just because I was about to set up for like a crazy, I think it was like an Imperialdramon play the next turn. So they suspended my Pyildramon with the Needle Spray and then went with Nidhogman to just clear my whole field. So, yeah, that 2 play cost to spend one thing and then combo that straight into a Nidhogman is very, very good. Okay, I think Needle Spray is going to be the way to go over the Flower Cannon simply because you get multiple uses out of it. One, you suspend the one thing that's going to kill you, right? Because no one's going super wide anymore, so Flower Cannon is less useful in security. And then getting it back to hand to use again. You can suspend a blocker and swing with your Grand Kawagamon for a whole bunch of damage. You can suspend anything you want and then Nidhogg and then clear their whole field. Yeah, Needle Spray definitely I think is going to be the way to go for sure. And that's going to do it for the deck here. I hope you guys liked it. We finally got to cover this whole thing. I know it was a long time coming. This video ended up being longer than I wanted it to, even though I'm dying here. But I do hope that you do like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoy this type of content, I try to put it out as much as possible. So definitely subscribe. Also, if you really enjoyed the content, check out my Patreon. I have a link in the description below for it. You can get access to my Discord server, as well as if you're a Dragon Village M fan, account takeovers where I help you out with your account. If you're a Digimon fan, I've got monthly giveaway. Well, not even giveaways. I've got monthly merch that's specific to Patreon. Stuff like memory counters, custom made. This is the baby form of Vmon here. There's going to be more in the works also. So lots of memory counters, all kinds of awesome Digimon merch. So definitely check out that tier. And if you're just all out crazy, there's other tiers if you're that dedicated. As well as check out my Teespring. I've got awesome merch there, official Battle Ready Ink merch, awesome phone cases for you Digimon fans out there. They've got them for iPhones as well as Samsungs, so they are super sweet. If you've seen the last Digimon movie, that's where these are from. I had a friend of mine custom make these so that way they fit perfectly on these phone cases. They look super good, so definitely check those out. But at the end of the day, if you can't do any of that, just like I said, like the video, that helps a ton, and subscribe. It doesn't hurt, but it helps me. So that's what's the real benefit. And as always, I'll see you next time.